Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton, your voice and your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We're on each and every week, and thanks for tuning in. We bring to you information about purchases, about mortgage rates, about title, about escrow, about anything having to do with the process that you're going to get into if you want to decide to buy or sell a house this year. A very interesting market in Las Vegas right now, where we're seeing, although the rest of the country has kind of slowed in terms of its growth in price appreciation, here in Las Vegas it's about 10%, a little below 10%, but it's about 10%, which is pretty amazing. It's number 2 in the country. It was number 1. I mean, 2-3 years ago it was like 15-16% a year. We are now at 10% a year, which is still unbelievable. I think unsustainable. I've talked about it before on the show. If you watch the show, you'll know that what we do is we bring experts on the show, we talk about certain topics, and then we get a group of us around to hash out what we've already talked about. Today we're going to do a little something a little different. We have an expert for the show today. Her name is Nina Penny. She is a certified reverse mortgage professional, and in that designation there's only about 150 of them in the U.S. What we do is we try to single out what the reverse mortgage property loan is, what it can do for you, the different aspects of the reverse mortgage product that you may not be familiar with, and then how to look at this as a long-term solution for what you're going to need in terms of your retirement and all the way through the end of your life and your loved ones, and making sure that you're being protected is part of the insurance, mortgage product, and I think it's really important that you understand all the aspects. Anyway, we brought Nina onto the show last week, and we brought her again back this week in order to discuss those certain things. I really appreciate you tuning in each and every week. It's important for us to get feedback from you, so if you want to give us some feedback, you can certainly email us or call us on the telephone. Those particular ways to do that will appear on your screen. Anyway, I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in each and every week. And what we do is we bring you some information that you're going to use. I know you're going to use this because the practical side of what we do is to try to take what this show gives you and apply it. You apply it to whether you're going to buy, whether you're going to sell, maybe you're helping a friend, a relative, a neighbor. Somebody that is listening to this show or watching the show today is going to get information that they'll be able to use right away. In that, we've been talking about reverse mortgages for the last couple of shows, and once again I bring to our show expert Nina Penny, CRMP, and she joins us again. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Excellent. Okay, so we've been talking about the reverse mortgages. Just give us an overview of what the reverse mortgage is so that people who didn't see the show last week can get an idea of what we're talking about.
Sure. A reverse mortgage is simply a loan that allows you to tap into some of the equity you've built up over time You are not obligated to make any payments on it.
Okay.
If you'd like to, you can. All you need to do is keep up with taxes and insurance. And then when you sell your home or the last person on title leaves, the loan becomes due. So the amount of money that you borrowed, plus the interest that's been accrued up over the time, is paid, and the remaining balance goes to the heirs.
Now, we talked in the last show, and thank you for that, about how the misconceptions in the whole mortgage industry are really wrapped up in what people think about the reverse mortgage product. I hate the name reverse mortgage product. That's just because to me it really is a forward mortgage that you just don't pay.
Right.
Right? So it's very similar to a conventional 30-year fixed mortgage, except you don't make any payments.
Right.
And what happens to those payments? They get tacked onto the principal. I mean, it's really pretty simple as that.
Yeah, it is pretty simple. It's an FHA loan because it's
Right.
mortgage insurance,
That's
much
right.
like a traditional FHA loan.
Right.
You're just not obligated to make payments on it.
Right.
If, in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, I'm sorry, they actually have different names for it.
I see.
It just, the bad connotation, they've tried referring to as a HECM.
Right,
Which
Home equity.
home equity conversion mortgage.
Right.
It works, but it's just a misconception. Stay with it.
Okay. Let's get into something where I think most people look at a reverse mortgage as if you own the property.
Right.
Let's look at a reverse mortgage product, a product that is a purchase,
Right.
where you can buy a house with a reverse mortgage. How does that work?
Well, it's funny because back years ago, people would have to go buy a home,
Right.
pay all the costs to obtain the home, and then turn around and do a reverse mortgage. So you pay double closing costs. Well, now we have one product, and it's a reverse for purchase.
Okay.
And this allows you to pick a home that you like,
Right.
come in with approximately about 50 to 60% of the sale price,
So a $200,000 home, you come in with 110,000, and then
never make a payment. It's yours.
I see. Now you have to have that money, right? I mean, for a lot of people, that's difficult. Give us a typical scenario of how this would be beneficial to the particular buyer.
So I brought a chart.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll put the chart up.
Okay.
And then we can take a look at it.
There it is.
So here's
Perfect.
the chart.
Okay.
So let's say, you just sold your house in California and you netted, let's say, $500,000.
Okay.
Let's say, okay. And you have your kids out here in beautiful Nevada, and you found a perfect little home that's you can age in place, and the price of that home is $350,000.
Well, just as an aside, so let's say you're in California and you're moving to Vegas.
Right.
You sell your house, you get $500,000 equity or more money in the bank, and you come out here and you can get the same house for $350,000 or something like that.
Yeah, this is just an example.
Okay.
So you find this house you absolutely love, and you're 70 years old. Of course, your wife, maybe, let's say the youngest of the two is 70, and
Okay.
you find this house for $350,000. And you consider the reverse mortgage for a purchase transaction, so you don't have to use up all your liquid assets.
Right. Right.
So on this example, you could buy a $350,000 home, including closing costs, come in with approximately $203,639.
Right.
And then you move into your home, pay your taxes and insurance, and never obligate to make a mortgage payment.
Plus the money that you've just saved, right? You're not making payments, and you still have the money from the sale of your house in California.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a great option that people really don't take advantage of. I mean, I rarely hear of a person who raves about their reverse purchase, right? Never. You hear about people who have a conventional mortgage. Oh, I got a 3.99% interest rate. I'm smoking, but they never say, look, I saved this money and saved the money from my sale in California.
Yep. I mean, it's amazing because people say, I'm going to buy a home. I owned my home free and clear.
Right.
I sold my home. I'm going to take all my liquid asset and buy a new home, right?
Right.
Or
right.
they say, I'm going to put in half of it, buy a home, and I'll have a mortgage payment for the other half. Now they've just acquired a new debt. And
Right.
we talked about in the last session, in retirement years, we need to eliminate debt.
Right. And that's what really this is all about, right? Trying to ease the burden of financial payments, debt, on older Americans who retired, who don't make steady money anymore. They have Social Security and whatever their retirement is. That's
Yep.
it.
You have to make that last a long time.
Long time, especially now when, whether it's medical advancements or whether you're just more healthy. Like I think a lot of people are more healthy, especially in, vibrant areas where people are moving around a lot.
Yep.
Las Vegas being one of those areas.
And you also have the quality of life.
Right.
Even if you were to take all your money and make your payment, you still need quality of life. In that situation we just discussed, they still have a good portion of money that can help them enjoy their retirement years.
Right. Okay. So this is a scenario by which we look at for people who are downsizing, right? They've had their family, they had their job, the kids are gone, they're into retirement.
Or right-sizing. Jeff,
Oh, okay.
what about the
Right.
people that lived their whole life without the luxuries that they had because they gave them up for the children, right?
Right.
To make ends meet. Now is their time that they can say, hey, you know what, we have this $500,000, we can get a reverse mortgage for, $900,000 and still not make a payment. It's right-sizing.
Now, the term right-sizing, I only smile because it's something that I'm thinking, okay, yeah, because most of us, my age in particular, you feel guilty about spending money on yourself, right?
Yeah, sure.
About taking care of yourself because you're so used to being able to provide for others, solutions for others. I have children in their 20s now and they're looking to buy houses, and I'm always thinking about that right-sizing to be able to take the amount of money that you have or the amount of equity in your home or the reverse mortgage product as a solution to be able to live the life you couldn't live because you were always providing for others.
That's right. But in the case where you took 50% and got your new house in the right sizing, with that additional funds, people use that to enjoy their legacy with their grandchildren and children while they're still alive.
No, that's a great point. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, while we have the reverse purchase that we've talked about, in terms of getting more, I guess, for your money.
Right.
Really, that's what it's about, right? Getting more for your money.
Right.
And especially moving from California to Nevada, and by the way, 30% of the people coming into Las Vegas area come from California. So the example is apt. Being able to take advantage and also to be able to stretch your dollars further. That's why the Valley is such a good option. Now, I know that you also live in Arizona, probably another good option for people,
Sure.
because some of the properties there are also in the affordable range.
Up in Prescott Valley, I do a lot of business up in Prescott Valley. People sell their homes in California, and that situation we just ran through happens a lot.
Right.
But if you can imagine, you own this home, you paid off your mortgage, because our parents' generation, they did that. They had one home, they had that loan for 30
Right.
years, they paid it off, and proud of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. The reverse mortgage product, especially on the purchase side, especially given the fact that if people are moving from an area like a California to here, or even a Nevada to South Carolina,
Right.
which is another, this is a very expensive market to people in other parts of the country. There are always ways by which you can leverage what you have in the reverse mortgage purchase, still own your home and never make another payment.
That's right.
That's excellent. Nina, thanks very much.
You're
We'll
welcome,
come back
Jeff.
in the next segment. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We're on each and every week. Thanks for tuning in. We've been talking about reverse mortgages. We've been talking about the advantages of the product. Also on the show, we usually try to talk to you about what's going on in the Las Vegas real estate market, as well as the mortgage rates and some of the other topics that affect us here in the Valley. I think one of the most important topics that we are talking about today is, what do you do when you retire? What do you do when you're getting older, when your income ends, when you were living on Social Security and whatever retirement benefits you may have accrued through your past jobs? That to me is what Las Vegas offers to many people who come to the Valley for retirement. If you have a home in another part of the country and you've sold it, you can come to the Valley and buy something really which is very comparable for a lot less money on a reverse mortgage purchase. We talked about that in the earlier part of the show. Anyway, back with us again is Nina Penny. Nina, how are you?
Good.
All right, great. Thanks for coming back, and thanks for being with us on the shows. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Now, the reverse mortgage, I love the product. I love it, talking about it with people, because most people don't understand it. They don't feel as if somehow it's for them. They feel like they're being sold, or there's something that they're missing that later on is going to burn them. How wrong are these people?
Well, we talked about the misconceptions.
Right,
That maybe, too good to be true.
right.
That, what's the catch?
Yeah, all that.
Yep. And honestly, it's very hard. It takes a lot of work. I mean, we have safeguards in place. There's a
You have
counseling.
government counseling that you
Yep.
have to get.
Safeguards in place to make sure that, by the time the client signs the paperwork, that they're comfortable with it. And there's safeguards in place because they are very protected with this loan program.
Yes, I agree. And I think people understand that it's an insured program
Yep.
through FHA.
Yes.
So there's a lot of protections for the lender, obviously the people who are
Right.
involved of lending the money.
Right.
And most of these loans in the secondary market are sold to Ginnie Mae. And so what we have here is a secured loan, a great loan product, something that's helping older people in their retirement years.
Right.
Okay, so when you're trying to talk to people about that, I know you work with a lot of financial counselors.
Yes.
People who work in that sphere in terms of trying to help people understand how they're going to get through their retirement years, living the same kind of life they're living, not, lessening up their lifestyle. And so part of what we talk, and you talk to them about, is how do we bridge the gap? How do we get people to understand that the reverse mortgage product may have implications that can help you in your financial life?
Right.
So give us some examples of how that might be based on what they're telling you.
Sure. First of all, I think it's important to realize that financial advisors right now are really learning that if they're not looking at a client's home equity, that they're missing a big part of the puzzle.
Right.
Because a lot of people have the most of their wealth in their home equity.
50% of the people who own a home in the U.S. have it paid off.
Yep. And can you imagine all that liquid asset that you could tap into
Right.
to assist in retirement years?
Right.
Yes, it's one thing to look at. There's a lot of big financial companies, advisor companies that, if you mention reverse mortgage, they wanted you gone. They wanted you out of their office. They
Right.
want to hear about it. More and more are putting that software into their systems to help people figure out a plan using home equity as a part of a full package.
Now you had a couple of examples
Right.
of how people might be helping.
Well-
Give us an example.
Okay, so one example that one of my advisors likes to talk about is, since we don't know about the unknown of what tax codes and tax things going to be in the future, we only know what they are now.
Right.
So-
the tax rates, what you're
Right.
going to be taxed.
Right. So he likes to see if his people would be willing to put their money into something today, so that when they tap into it after they're 70, that it is zero tax dollars.
Okay, so using the reverse product, the
Right.
reverse mortgage product,
Right.
how does that help in terms of eliminating cost of tax in future years?
One strategy,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, is that folks can take out a reverse mortgage. They can have an IRA, and the tax codes, you have to pay your tax on it when you take out your IRA
Yep.
money.
Yep.
So you use the funds from the reverse mortgage to cover those tax consequences.
Okay.
To have your IRAs converted into a Roth
Mm-hmm.
for later withdrawals.
I see.
Now, you have this money now that you've used your reverse, not your own personal funds, but your home wealth to pay those things off. and then you can start paying back the reverse mortgage if you like,
Okay.
and then you get your tax interest at the end of the year to help out.
And there must be a savings or a reason that you wanted to use the reverse mortgage product rather than just pay it out of pocket, right? Because
'cause you-
obviously the equity in your home is a lot better than using cash in the bank.
That's right.
Right, and so what happens is you're obviously saving money.
Right.
You're using equity in your home, so your lifestyle doesn't change. You never have to make that payment.
And we're not sure what the tax, what the tax consequences will be.
Right.
But we do know that a reverse mortgage at approximately, let's just say 4.5% interest,
Right.
could be a savings as opposed to paying a lot more later.
Now, the financial counselors also talk about legacy, right? I
Right.
mean, what do you leave to somebody? Now, today we have an administration that has really lessened the burden of inheritance wealth. I think it's, what is it, 6 million, up to 6 million is tax-free?
Yep.
But we don't know, as you said. The next administration may say, hey, no, that's not right. I mean, if indications are correct that the new wave of progressive thinking has it that no, a lot of this wealth has to be used in order to help the underprivileged,
Right.
the people who need it more. So that could change.
Right.
How do we protect, or what do they say about protecting using the reverse mortgage, your legacy or what you stand
Sure.
to leave?
And the great unknown when you get into to retirement planning is we don't know how long we're going to live.
Well, that's true. That's the big unknown.
You
Yes.
know,
Right.
or what's going to be going on in the world, or the price of anything, we just don't know. But sometimes people take out a reverse mortgage, and with those funds, maybe they help pay for kids' college, or maybe they take out a one-term life insurance policy,
Right.
or they plan a big family vacation, but they do things to enjoy it while they're still living.
Right, right. And part of that is about making sure that the funds that you leave, either through the first example you have, the cash funds in your account, stays so that you can pass on. Now, given that we don't know the tax situation, the protections that are in place either now or in the future to try to keep the money that you have and pass it to your spouse, your surviving spouse. And speaking of that, your surviving spouse, tell us about why it's a good idea to do the reverse mortgage, because the spouse doesn't have to leave the house.
Right.
And a reverse mortgage,
Right. The last person on title, after the last person on title leaves the home, that's when the loan becomes due.
now there are situations where a deed gets put in a trust. Does that happen with a reverse?
You can do a reverse mortgage in a trust, yes.
Okay. And how
yes.
does that affect the surviving spouse or the
It doesn't.
surviving heir? Like, let's say your children are also on the trust.
Right. So a lot of times, one of the biggest misconceptions is that the bank takes the home.
Right, of course.
Okay. Well, what happens is, I'm going to give a scenario when the last person leaves the home.
Right.
Okay. A lot of people think, well, that's when the bank comes in and takes the house, or my kids are going to get a bill because we owe more than the home is worth.
Right.
So, the mortgage insurance and the FHA insurance protects the client. So basically, the home will never be worth more than the appraised value.
I see. Okay, so the bank taking the house, that
It's a misconception.
it's a misconception.
Right.
It's one that lingers and really hurts people's options when they're looking at how do they take it from retirement to the time
Absolutely.
they pass.
So let's just say, on a quick example, okay, I have a home, I've lived a nice long life, okay? I owe on my reverse mortgage $200,000. I pass, the market just downturned, my home is worth $100,000.
Right.
Let's say my kids love the house. They think it's Vegas. Hey, this is awesome.
Right.
It would be a great rental property. They can refinance that home for 95% of the appraised value.
I see.
The mortgage insurance covers the gap.
I see. I see. Okay, that's excellent. Listen,
It
we
is.
run out of time. Unbelievable, right?
You'll have to have me back.
Yeah, we're going to come back. We're going to do it again. I think it's a great topic for people because they really need it here in Las Vegas and certainly other places as well. Thank you, Nina, for coming
Thanks for
on the
having
show.
me, Jeff.
Thank you very much. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification in an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, and I'm the host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this particular show. There are a lot of people who are older here in the Valley in Las Vegas, and they're looking to us for solutions. We try to provide that, and we did today, I think, with Nina Penny, who is a reverse mortgage specialist, obviously somebody who is experienced and knows exactly what they have to be able to tell you. So if in fact that you are thinking about a reverse mortgage product, there are a lot of things to consider, and we can't cover it all here on the show each and every time that we talk. Why? Because there are many, many questions, and I know this is a product by which you need to have a relationship with the person you're talking to, you need to trust in what they're saying, and you need to be able to ask questions when they come up. The only way you do that is to establish a relationship with someone who's an expert in the field. Nina is certainly one of that, and her particular information provided to you on the screen as she spoke during the segments of the show. Being a reverse purchase, being something that you can take out for tax benefits, being something that you can help protect legacy, being something that is just a way by which you can be secure knowing that you have money in the bank, or that you never have to make another payment. All of these options are things that are secure and be able to use as you need, not as I tell you, and making sure that the property is secure once the person who is last on title passes away. These are all options, all things that you need to consider when you're considering a reverse mortgage. And as I said, knowing the person who can help you the best is the best way by which you can get the information. Nina is certainly that. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.